Good afternoon. Welcome to episode 6 of Roots to Rise podcast, hosted by me, harrysdhaliwal. Man, I know it's been a while since I've released another episode. It's life, you know. Life hit hard again, but it's all good. That's what this whole podcast is about. That's what the theme is. It's called Roots to Rise for a reason. And I was going to share some stuff with you guys. And but before we get started, I just want to say the title of this episode is How I Got Back Up After Slipping Off Track. Now, just note, I know I'd share my own perspective on life, but I also want you guys put yourself in my shoes. I know I'm saying I a lot, but the reason, but I am also making sure that these tips resonate with people that are in my shoes, that have been through it, unfortunately. But hey, we're gonna make it through. So just to recap, I know this is episode 6. It's been a little over a week since I've been back, and those of you who are chiming in to this episode as your first episode, this whole podcast is all about inspiring men to become the better version of themselves, no matter how difficult their outcome is. Man, life could hit us in many different ways. Some have it worse, some have it better, some have it medium. Life is so dynamic, and that's what brings me that. For me, it's for me to record this podcast and to do other few entrepreneurial endeavors. It's my why, and that's what keeps me bringing back. That's what helped. That's what brings me here, every week. I know I wasn't here last week, but hey, I'm back. I'm glad to be back. And I'm going to keep it raw and unfiltered and unedited. It's my first podcast season, my first time doing a podcast. So I'm going to evaluate how I can improve it, with the whole intro, outros, toward the, for next season 2 onward. So I was still going with season 1, and I'll announce when we're at the end of season 1. And thank you for all of you guys that have listened, supported this podcast. But so that's all I wanted to say. And all right, so I'm gonna recap. The episode name of this podcast is How I Got Back Up After Slipping Off Track. Now I mentioned, hey, life hit. I missed a week, so just some I don't know if some of you so this is gonna sound kind of funny. For those of you that are late bloomers, in the 30s or 20s or etc., maybe even early 40s that are living with parents, which I am currently. By the way, I'm 32, and it's okay. I'm not gonna say it's a bad, just defend that we need to, what I'm trying to say is that it's okay if we're with our parents and if we're late bloomers. Let's make the most out of that. So my dad obviously is an immigrant who came from a village, and he's like that rose that grew out of the concrete. He is killing it at work, and he's getting promotions after promotion, and he's close to 60s, maybe a few years away. I should know my dad's age, but math wasn't my favorite subject. But anyway, so my dad sees me sometimes as his elder son, and his firstborn and all. What is this guy doing? And sometimes my dad lashes out on me and says hey, I came from India, and I made it here. What's wrong with you? And all that stuff. And we sometimes go back and forth and hey man, it's not I'm not sitting here not doing anything with life. I am definitely trying to do something with my life. It's just right now it's hard to find a job. I've been pivoting into looking into retail jobs, Apple store, even Costco. I went to my local Costco a few days ago, and they said, hey, they're not hiring at the moment. They'll be hiring in May for seasonal work. Tried even UPS, but in the meantime, I know that I can. In the meantime, I know I can give these creative endeavors the energy and focus, because I feel more I learn about myself that I'm definitely a creative person. I'm emotional, and I feel this is my realm. And for those of you that also share the same perspective, that maybe work the typical 9 to 5 is not for you, but online, creating online content, or whether it's be blog posts, making YouTube videos or how-to videos, or just in general social media content. Or in general, like you feel like you could just kind of do your own thing, like for example, create online content, ebooks, or etc. and all that stuff. Go for it, man. I think some of us are just not made for 9 to 5. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna work a 9 to 5, because a 9 to 5 will support my creative endeavors. Because right now I'm telling you guys, I'm a bit strapped for cash. It's another hurdle, but on top of my ADHD and all that stuff, and dealing with my dad at times. I know he means well. So, but like those of you that are in the same shoes as me or similar, or even have it better than me, hey, shout out to you guys, But those of you that are in my shoes, or late bloomers like myself, that we're still trying to figure it out, don't worry, man. Life's gonna get good. One thing I can attest is that as I've been pouring energy into these creative endeavors, I feel much more confident in myself. Like I show up, there's a purpose that I'm here, that I have a community. There's people out there that care to listen, and I want to support. And instead of just me coming here every day to just dish out my advice, I would love it if you guys could go in the comments afterward and connect, connect by leaving comments and tips. And I'm a student, man. Like I love to learn, and I haven't figured life out, so I'm always down to learn from others. So I want to create a tribe, a community of late bloomers, right? Like a bunch of roots, and let's all rise together. So please feel free to share what's on your mind, and let's help each other out here. So for me, like I said, I mentioned my dad was upset. He wanted to kind of threaten me to kick me out of the house by March 31st, or pay a certain amount, right? That was kind of a little bit ridiculous. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I want to contribute to this household financially. Right now, I'm just in a bit of a pickle, and I'm trying to get back on my feet. And this is kind of my unique lowest point in my life, but I'm also putting a positive spin to it by taking care of this. Instead of sitting down and crying, I want to bounce back and use this time to become more resilient. And still pursuing that light at the end of my tunnel. So same thing for you guys or gals. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We have to have that inner burning desire. Now that burning desire, I'll never forget, by Napoleon Hill. I read his book, Think and Grow Rich. And I'll never forget, I was in high school, and that phrase just stuck with me since then. The phrase I like to use, "We gonna make it through" by Fred again, or "Carpe diem," the Latin phrase, etc., or the French phrase "Es la vie." So find your burning desire, man. This is my burning desire. I want to help people, especially men, that have been burdened with debt, divorce, the emotional turmoil, unfortunately, sexual abuse, and a lot of ups and downs in life, being a late bloomer. And I just feel and then also with ADHD, mental health, I feel we're a unique bunch. We're not dumb, we're not stupid. We have our own, like I said, our own unique system. I've noticed that I'm a night owl. My creativity just comes out of nowhere. That's why I start off by saying good evening most of the time, So that's how I am. And some are wired to be night, the early birds, and whatnot. My dad fights me sometimes, hey, get up, and we got to get up early and this and that. You can then email recruiters, or you can be in sync with the world, and you can, your circadian rhythm will be intact and all that stuff. And I get all that. So I'm just trying to juggle life and, trying to make it work. And I just want to launch. I want to keep growing. So in addition to this podcast, I'm also working on an e-commerce clothing company called Pangene Wear, which I'll just touch briefly. It's about taking, global cultural designs and imprinting them on clothing. And I'm getting that started, as well as this, and as well as my blog posts. I'm just trying to create as much content, and it gives me purpose. I want to help people out. And this is what gives me joy. And that's what keeps me going. I know the job stuff, I can't wait for the job stuff to come. I can't wait to get employed again. So that way I can get my life together, and then also fuel my creative endeavors, because long-term vision-wise, I see myself as being self-employed. If you're anybody out there that's what self-employment is, an idea that's floating around in your mind, and that lifestyle that it brings, the challenges, the successes, the rewards, the risks, then run with it, man. run with it. If you don't have like if you're not living with home with parents and you're kind of like on your own, kudos to you. And despite the tough hardships, keep pushing through. Show up, make time. I know some of you guys have kids. Some of you guys have demanding jobs or odd jobs or whatever. Don't let that get to you. Every day, find a purpose and just keep pushing through. That's what I've noticed, man. This is episode 6 for me. Like, I never thought I'd ever start a podcast. I had this like internal dialogues with myself. Oh, I'm not successful. I'm a nobody. I'm just a guy who's, just dealing with all this stuff, and just, I have to be something first and win some awards and then be like this Harry Dhaliwal. Hey, this is the guy. But no, this is the Harry Dhaliwal's in the making. And like, goes with the theme of this podcast, Roots to Rise, and it's raw, it's unfiltered, it's unedited, and I'm just using whatever I have. And I'm just using voice memos on my iPhone. And shout out to the successful people on Medium who I follow. They say, you don't need to get all this equipment, fancy dancy stuff in the starting. Just run with what you have, man. And those creators are right. I'll be honest, I was guilty of like, spending money, carelessly on things. Like, I need to have this, I need to have that, I need to have that. And then nothing happened. And then years later, I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna like run with it. And so the more I show up, the more content I create, the better I feel. So everybody needs to find their why, what their why is. For me, it's being a creative person, be able to create, express creatively, and versus, for me internally, that fulfills myself. Like, I don't need extra validation or external validation from others. I got to do this for me. And that's what keeps me coming here. So like, don't let guilt or shame, hold you back. It's okay. We all not be there where we need to be. We made some mistakes. I definitely beat myself at times. And, especially having with ADHD, I sometimes tend to overthink and just sit there, keep pondering like, man, why did I make those mistakes? Like, well, I'm 32, man. In 5 months, I'm about to be 33, and I'm divorced. I'm unemployed still. I have no really concrete job still. And, despite me creating content and also learning web development, web design, I want to pivot into that, and then software engineering as I got backbone. But that's a story for another day. But like, for me, this content creative is I want to try to make this into a career. So that's why I'm saying it's better late than never. I mean, it's better now than it's better now than later, right? As the saying goes. And that's what I'm here, man. Like, that's what shows me, and I hope this something resonates with somebody, and I just want to help inspire others, because like, as I look to, other content creators on YouTube, Medium, LinkedIn at times, that's what gets, I'm inspired by those people, because they show up, and I feel like I also have something to share, and that's why I'm here. And like I said, this is pretty much the topic of today, like how I got back up after slipping off track. And just want to kind of recap is like, shut out the noise. No matter if it's your parents, your siblings, your friends, your significant other. People have different perspectives on this whole creative lifestyle, this mindset. I'm just using this as an example. It could be something else. You're doing something, and all of a sudden it's like, let's say you're a doctor, you're one of them pivot into selling real estate. Your core might be like, what the hell? Like, do what you got to do, as long as it's ethical and legal. Do what you got to do, and do what's passionate, man. Like, life's too short, man. Life's too short. I can't believe I have it tatted on me, Carpe Diem. And I believe it. Seize the day, man. Seize the day. Because time is, honestly, as I'm realizing, as a late bloomer I am, and 32 years old, time is the biggest asset. And one thing I want to announce is that I don't drive Uber anymore. I now rented my car out on Turo. It felt nice. There were some two people that, recently there's 2 individuals that reached out, wanted to rent out my car. Thinking about that, I was like, like, others are driving my car. Yes, there's that risk, whatever. But at the same time, that time that that I get back from, instead of me behind the wheel, I can use that to create this. I could do what I need to do that fulfills my why. So that time is like, once that time is gone, y'all, like, that time is gone. We're never gonna get it back. And sometimes I sit there and ponder. I'm just like, man, dude, like, a day ago, a year ago, like several years ago, like moments in the past is what I mean. Like it's like, wow, man, from 92 till now, it's like, wow. It's crazy, man. You look back at certain decades, certain time stamps in life, like how far you've come, and you look back, there's so much more life ahead. So many more seasons, so much more sunshine to like look forward to. And quoting, going on, touching on the whole sunshine topic, I want to reference Lil Wayne's lyrics from Eminem's song "Drop the World," or Lil Wayne's song featuring Eminem. The lyric goes, Lil Wayne goes, "You keep the sunshine, give me the rain." So like, exactly, like life is full of sunshine. That's what we got to look forward to. So keep finding your why and stop and block out the noise. Put your blinders on and say F it to all the noise out there. And we're allowed to fall off, but just don't unpack and live there, because nothing grows out of that. Don't fall into a well and hard to get out of that. Just think about, you fell down. Guess what? You get back up. Get back up. That's what we do. We go back to the roots when we were kids. We were toddlers. We were basically crawling at first, and then we started walking. We fell down, and we started walking, and then we fell down, and we started running and jogging. Next thing you know, you're an adult or senior citizen or a teenager or whatever. We grow. It's fun. And all those moments come back into this. So like I said, man, life has moments where we slip, but the key is to find your purpose and get back up. And also, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm also going to be active on YouTube. So as this is a podcast here, where you can hear my voice on YouTube, I'm going to be talking. For those of you guys who like more visual settings, I'm going to be basically talking about the same thing here, just branching out. And then I also, for those of you that like to just read, I'm basically talking about the same things on Medium. I love writing on Medium. That's where I started first. And lastly, I want to let you guys know that I'm also in the process of starting a coaching lesson plan. I've now been through many hurdles, and I know there's many others out there that are going through this, and they're dealing with this amount of pain. I'm still working on my plan. So I just wanted to announce it. If those of you are interested, feel free to leave a comment down below. And I'd love to get in touch with you. I'll be creating a page and a landing page with my coaching plans, and where we can set up more. It's going to be one-on-one. Maybe I'll also do a live stream with a group, kind of where a bunch of men that are, they're down for a tribe type. To build a tribe of men with similar attributes or life moments, where we can all help each other, help champion one another. That's another thing that I'm exploring too. So one-on-one sessions and a group setting as well. So stay tuned on that. So please feel free to let me know if anybody's interested. I love what I do, and I want to support others out there. And also, a fun fact, I'm also creating a merchant store. So if anybody that's interested in Roots to Rise, love the brand. I also just redid my logo. Went from scratchy to professional. Guy named Jimmy is based in Pakistan, I believe. Did some amazing work. I can also, if you're interested, I can send you his Fiverr link. And amazing guy. And so that's pretty much it for today's episode number 6. Once again, the title was How I Got Back After Slipping. How I Got Back Up After Slipping Off Track. And the key thing is, fellas and gals, if you're listening, find your why. Block out the noise. Keep pushing through. Be crazy about your passions, and you'll be unstoppable. I'm here in the trenches live making this happen. I can tell you that I'm not there where I want to be, but I'm definitely further where I was a few weeks ago, a few months ago, years ago. Always to tell myself, I'm going to do it until it's perfect, until I'm a somebody. The key is not to become a somebody, then do it. That's what society makes us this instills this sort of framework that we have to follow, and I feel sometimes some successful people, not all, and don't pay it forward. Kind of create this sort of narrative that you have to become this, because some successful people I've met in life, they're jealous. They don't want others to get up there. They think that they are better than everybody else, that they don't want competition. I know people from personal experience, not going to name any names. So anyways, when you get to the top, from what I'm seeing, I mean, I'm still looking up, I'm not there yet, but I can only tell from like where I was a day ago to a few weeks ago, is that there's plenty of room up here. And I haven't even touched the surface. I'm being real with y'all. There's so much more up here. So feel free. Look at the world, like, real quick. Like, look how big this world is. Look how big your neighborhood is. Like, all this space. Just think small, like from where you live, where you're standing, and just think how big it is. We're small. So don't let haters get to you. All right. So this is the end of episode 6. How I got back up after slipping off track. And just to close it off, as always, we're a tribe of roots to rise. We're roots that are going to rise, and we going to make it through. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.